Those who can, do. Those who can't, teach. As much as I admire the great thinker and playwright George Bernard Shaw, I find this particular nugget of wisdom wholly ignorant of what teaching demands of its practitioner. It is a science, an art, and when done well, as close to any religious experience as I've ever known. I didn't always want to teach. It was probably the last thing on my mind for the first 25 years of my life. Heck, I spent 5 years pursuing a theater degree at one of our region's premier producers of educators, and the thought never entered my head that I could do it or even enjoy it. But once I discovered it, when working with young actors while in my late 20s, it bit me as hard as any acting bug. And when I realized that with a lot of work, I could be good at it, I decided to make it my career. I help to support young learners, from those gawky 8th graders to those cocksure seniors, with their reading, writing, communicating, and most importantly, thinking. It was exhausting work, both physically and mentally, and it took a toll on my personal life, my marriage, my family. Life balance has never been a skill that comes naturally to me, and by year 15, I was burned out, and those around me were burned out as well. I needed a change, and I went in the exact opposite direction, becoming a driver for UPS. Here was a job that never bled into my off-hour time, but I quickly discovered that it lacked two things that I needed: creativity and the ability to help others to succeed. So here I am at Goodwill, teaching technology, a topic that a year ago I knew very little about. And that is part of the challenge. And it is also a great motivator for me to move beyond what I already know and what I know I can already do. I took on the role of adult educator for the Artemis Institute because it was a completely new program that we were building from the ground up. And I wanted to be a part of creating it. I still do, but not only in the role of teacher, but in a more administrative position, working to decide on the direction and depth of the entire program. One thing I do know is that I'm not ready for this now, but the past year has taught me what I need to do to reach my goal. For the past year, I've been teaching the Bridge to Technology class, which has been a great experience for me to learn about the new clientele and a new curriculum, and this education needs to continue. I want to do this over the next year by expanding into at least one new class for the Artemis Institute. Right now, my focus is on the general overview of technology and how it connects to the workforce. This has pushed me to learn about AI, robotics, coding, 3D printing, and other skills. But if I want to one day run a larger program connecting to technology skills and job opportunities, I need to go into more depth on at least one new skill. Perhaps this is guiding students through a data analyst or analytics course using Python and SQL. I've already begun to learn some of these skills, but I am nowhere near where I need to be to facilitate students to help them to master this skill. It is a doable goal, but one that will require time, study, and a lot of questions. In addition, I need to grow my skills in the use of data and management of people in order to see the bigger picture and of multiple courses within a program and understand better how to manage a larger platform than just one classroom. I need to continue with my coursework on Grow with Google. Currently, I'm taking a course on data analytics, which I find fascinating, and I know it will be helpful as I work to grow a larger program and understand what works and what changes need to be made. I'm still about 5 months from completion of this course, and once it's done, I want to take the course on project management, which would prepare me for work on a larger scale. I hope to have both fully completed by the spring of 2024, around the time of the Artemis Institute's 2.5-year anniversary and the completion of the Bridge to Technology class's 10th cohort. If I want to run a larger educational initiative, it has to grow, and part of my plan is to work with my colleagues here at Goodwill and stakeholders in the Kansas City business community to define what needs industry has and how Goodwill can help our clients to meet those needs. This means a lot of discussions with business leaders. In my first year here, I have fostered relationships with companies like Snap IT, Genuine LLC, New Horizons, and the KC Tech Council. But these are just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Working with Delano Sheffield, my colleague and mentor here at Goodwill, I'll spend the next 24 to 36 months opening doors to any businesses in the Kansas City area that might be interested in discussions. Obviously, I want to speak with the Kauffman and DeBruce Foundations, but also companies like Cerner, Garmin, Datamap, Marks Nelson LLC, and Quest Analytics, to name just a few. This will require organization on my part and the willingness to move outside of my comfort area to learn more about each possible partner and to understand their technology needs. Ultimately, this will have benefits for the program and for me as an educator and future administrator. Two final steps that I will mention that are important to my journey. One is accreditation by the state of Missouri for our program. I have been through something like this when I was a graduate student at Rockhurst, but I have never done this from the start of the process. This is something that I hope to learn about and work on once the Artemis Institute is about 3 to 4 years of classes under its belt. The second is something that I mentioned earlier, life balance. A lack of this made my career as a public school teacher a near impossibility, and it nearly wrecked my family and my marriage. And I do not want to put anyone through this again. So, as I continue on this journey, I know that I will have to constantly strive to find ways to balance my personal and professional lives. I have already started to create these boundaries and make them a habit. I rarely work on anything for Goodwill on weekends or in the evening. And I know with more responsibility, I might feel the old pull to put in the extra hour, which might turn into too many extra hours on the personal side. There are 100 different books and websites on the topic, and my goal is to find the habits that are sustainable and put them into practice so that when things do get busier, and they will, I am prepared to make the choices that allow me to get work done at a high level and at the high level that I expect without taking away from my personal time. This is key if I'm going to find long-term joy in this journey. Now, putting all this together should set me up for success. And by year 5, Goodwill should have a strong and effective program of courses to help our clients to find success. And I should have the set of skills, the connections, and the mindset to take an administrative role, creating curriculum, managing educators, and focusing on the long-term vision of the Artemis Institute. Those who can do. That is true. Those who cannot, they learn to do it, and then they teach others how to do it as well. It's all about whether you want to learn how to do it. And I can tell you myself that I do, and I will. Thank you.